Okay, this is question 4168, and it's telling you that a half plus a quarter, 1/2 plus 1/4 equals 3/4. And we can work that out mathematically. We can't add halves and quarters because they've not got the same denominator on the bottom. So we have to change a half into quarters by multiplying top and bottom by 2. It would give us 2/4. So 2/4 plus 1/4 is in fact 3/4. So we know that they're telling us the right thing here. We could do the same thing when we were adding a half plus a quarter plus an eighth. We would have to turn everything into eighths. That would give us, for the half, we would multiply top and bottom by 4, giving us 4/8. Quarters would multiply top and bottom by 2, giving us 2/8 plus 1/8. We're counting in eighths, so our answer will be in eighth. 4 plus 2 plus 1 is 7. So adding these together will in fact give us 7/8. And we can see that there's a pattern here. The pattern is that if we look at the denominator of the last fraction here, that's actually the fraction that goes on the bottom. So if we were to look on the fourth line here, actually it's the fourth because it's got the very first one that I haven't bothered writing up here, is that 1/2 plus 0 is a half. That the bottom number here is a 16, so our answer will be in 16. And if we notice that all of the top numbers here are the same as the denominator but minus 1. 4 minus 1 is 3. 8 minus 1 is 7. So 16 minus 1 will give us the answer 15. So the fraction here will be 15/16. For number 32, we would have a denominator of 32 and a numerator of 32 minus 1, which would give us 31. So we would expect the answers to be 15/16 and 31/32. And this would be for row 1, 2, 3, 4, for row 4 and row 5. Then it asks you to work out what would be the number in row 8 then. Well, in row 6, we would have a half plus a quarter plus an eighth plus a 16th plus 1/32. And we see the pattern here. What are we doing between each of these bottom denominators? We're multiplying by 2. So we would do the same thing here and get 1/64. And when we summed all of those fractions together, we would expect to get 64 on the bottom and 1 less than that on the top, 63/64. But that was only for row 6. We've then got to do row 7, where we'd have exactly the same thing, but our last number here would be plus 1, and we'd double 64 to get plus 1/128th. So we know that when I'd added all of these things here, all the way down again, I would add up and I would get the answer in 128ths, and my final answer would be 127/128ths. But that is still not row 8, so we'd have to do it all again. Everything here would be identical, all the way down to 128th, and then we would have at the very end here 256, sorry. Double 128 and we get 256. So our final answer of adding all of these fractions up here together plus 256 is that we would get a denominator of 256 and a numerator of 1 less, 255. So we would get on row 8 255, 256. What can you say about the total as the number of rows grow? Well, what you can say is, I mean, here we've got a value of, up on the top here we get a value of 0.75, and we get closer and closer and closer to the number 1 here. So as the numbers get higher and higher and higher, 255 divided by 256 is closer to 1 than 3/4 or 7/8. So you're getting closer and closer to 1 as the numbers get bigger and bigger.